Hi everyone, welcome to our draping sessions. I hope you all are well and safe and not venturing out too much. So we are going to start our basic draping, today. And before we start, what I want you to do is to get familiarized with your dress form. This is going to be your best friend for draping. Take good care of it. Treat it like you would treat your own brother or sister. Okay, so today's class is all about getting to know your dress form and the various components of your dress form. You must know the terminology associated with the dress form. So I'm going to start by pointing out the key parts of the dress form. Since you all have done pattern making, we already know the main parts, but let's just locate them on the dress form. This is your center front line. This is your princess line. The princess line runs through the apex point. The apex point is the highest point on the bust. Most of you, the apex point would have been marked with this like a white marking. If it's not, you can easily locate it by looking at your dress form in profile and then just putting a pin at whatever the highest point may be. So I'm just going to insert a pin here. Okay. Once we finish with the princess line, we move to the side. This is known as your side seam. This is your back princess line and this is your center back. Okay, so these were all the vertical lines that we explored. Now I'm going to tell you the horizontal lines. So this obviously is your neckline. This becomes the center front and neck point junction. This becomes the neck point and shoulder junction, and this becomes the shoulder line. This is your armhole line, and this point is known as the underarm and side seam junction. Moving down, we come to the waist. This is the natural waist. The natural waist means the narrowest part of the body. So you can practice this on yourself. If you put your hands on your rib cage and then you move them down, the narrowest part of your body is the natural waistline. A lot of students get confused because nowadays, especially low-waisted jeans and trousers, they are not based on the natural waistline. They are based considerably lower. So don't get confused that the waist is somewhere lower. It's always the narrowest part of the body. So once you know all these bits, we have to start marking out some key points on your dress form. Why do we need these key points? The best way I can explain to you is that a grain line and the bust level line, they are both like the skeleton of your bodice. Imagine your skeleton, right? It is a structure which supports the body, supports the organs. The same way, your center front, center back, and bust level line are the structure or the grid on which your basic bodice is made. I can't stress it to you all enough. If you don't have the grain lines marked out on your bodice, I will not accept it as a submission. So I really want you all to pay attention and mark out the grain lines. Okay. So the first thing we are going to do, and I just want to tell you what all we will need for this session. You will need some 1/4 inch style tape. You will need a box of pins. Please use only Pony pearl pins. Don't use Jyoti brand. Don't use whichever brand you find. Pony is well worth the investment. They're not that expensive. They're just a box of pins. But your draping will be much better. You also need a good fabric scissor. This fabric scissor is not to be used for paper, it's not to be used for cutting your hair, it's just for fabric. You have to treat it like your master tool. Understand that as a draping professional, your tools have to be in excellent condition. So in fact, at home and even in college, I have a separate kit of my draping tools and I don't let anyone get near them. So your draping scissor is very important. Another important point is that we don't want to use those golden tailor scissors. They are very heavy and draping requires a lot of wrist work, right? A lot of lifting your scissor in different directions. So you want something that is light on your wrists. So you can even take the scissors with the plastic handles. I think the brand is called Moped. I hope I'm saying it right, or is it Maped? I don't know. Or you can take a very light metal scissor as I have done. So Let us begin. We are going to mark first and foremost the bust level line. Now the bust level line is the broadest point on your dress form, torso. So you can just kind of measure across. Sorry, I'm holding that tape. You can measure across and find the broadest point, or as I mentioned, you can locate the apex point and we can work from there. So pick up your style tape. Keep a couple of pins handy and we start. We place the tape on center front. We pin, and then the tape has to pass exactly through the bust level line. Bust level point, sorry, or the apex point. I'm going to turn it to the side so that you can see that this line, really important guys, this line has to be always perfectly parallel to the waist. We don't want this, we don't want this, we don't want to say arey chalta hai, we can just put it anywhere. Be really particular and make sure that this line is perfectly parallel to the waist or the floor. Once you've got these pinned, you can chop off the extra tape. And what I like to do is just because whilst draping, you don't want the style tape to shift here and there. So I just pop in a couple of extra pins just to secure the tape in place. Okay, now that we are all sorted for our bust level line, just move back a couple of steps, look at it, have a good look around. Is it straight? Is it making sense? Trust me, I can spot a crooked grain line even if it is a couple of millimeters off. So please spend that extra time making sure that the grain line is absolutely parallel to the waist. Once that is done, today we are only marking for the front part of the bodice. So you're going to put tape down for the center front. This is a no-brainer. The center front line has already been marked on your dress form. So it's all easy for now. You can trim off the excess. And there you have it. So I have marked my center front line and I have marked my bust level line. If you are an enthusiastic little bunny, then you can even mark the princess line, you can mark the side seam, and you can mark the waist. For me, I'm good with the bust level line and the center front line. So this is your marking and familiarization with your dress form. I'm going to pause the video or maybe show you another one in some time. But I do want you to go back right now, look at your dress forms, understand where the different lines are. It's also in the PowerPoint that I've shared with you. And mark out your bust level line at the minimum, the bust level line and the center front line on your dress form. And then we meet again to discuss the next level of steps.